Coming to you from the Deep South, this is the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast. High-impact leadership is not reserved for leaders, and it has nothing to do with your position, title, or rank. However, it does have everything to do with your character. It's time to climb to the next level and beyond, personally and professionally. Now, let's start making it happen with your host, Max Story.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast today. Today I want to kind of pick up on what I was talking about on the last episode. On the last episode, I talked about average people wanting to keep you average. And after I finished that episode, I was like, I think I got another story I want to share about that and relate to that same point. And it's something I grew up with. You probably hear it a lot in the blue collar world. All of my 30 years now, working in the blue collar workforce and supporting those folks that still are. Something I used to hear a lot, especially when I was early in my career and I was trying to find my way and get results and get promoted and that sort of stuff. And it's a common term. I used to hear it. Sometimes I used to say it, right? I was guilty just as much as other people were guilty around me. But the term is brown nosing. You probably heard it. Brown nosing, sucking up. A lot worse than that probably. And I just want to help you slow down and think about whether you're saying that to other people today or people are saying that to you. I want to put it in the context of the last episode where average people are trying to hold you back. Average people trying to keep you average. So whenever you hear that term, that's what's happening. If you're saying it to someone else, you're the average person trying to keep them average. If someone else is saying it to you, they're the average person trying to keep you average. Because whenever somebody's saying that, and there's kind of two different contexts, right? There's the person who does a terrible job and they try to kind of be friends with a boss or a leader, even though they're not doing a good job. They're trying to use their relationship to get ahead. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about people who do a good job, who make stuff happen. And then because they do a good job, they do have a lot of influence. And then their leaders and other leaders interact with those people because the leaders who are responsible for moving the organization forward, they want to talk to and interact with the people who are helping them. And so during my career, that was a lot of times that was me. I was trying to improve processes and produce a lot of product. And I ran very high production when I was back in my manufacturing days, when I was on the front lines working in running and operating CNC lathes and mills and drills and all that sort of stuff. But whenever the boss would talk to me or engineers would come talk to me or anybody from the front office wanted to talk to me, interact with me, first thing I heard when they were gone was somebody bringing me a rag saying, "Hey, wipe that off your nose." Somebody saying, "Hey, what you doing, brown nosing Story?" I remember one guy I used to walk past, all I ever heard from him was, "There goes a shooting star right there." That guy's probably still running the same machine. But what's happening when we start doing that, when we're ridiculing people who are interacting with the boss, most often we're insecure ourselves because that person is getting ahead. They got more influence. A lot of times we want to be interacting with the boss, but they don't want to interact with us. And I ain't saying you got to go suck up and be buddy-buddy with a bad boss. But if you want to make something happen, you need to find the leaders. Hopefully it's your leader who wants to make something happen, and you need to have a relationship with them. It ain't got nothing to do with who's the boss and who's the worker. It's got something to do with people making it happen. Because people who make things happen attract other people who make things happen. And then that's the complicated part is now you're trying to get ahead while all these average people are trying to keep you back, especially at work. They're going to say all kind of stuff at break time. They're going to say all kind of stuff at lunchtime. That was all I ever heard early in my career. And again, I was promoted 14 times in those 20 years from 88 to 2008. So I got to hear a whole lot of that stuff. But what I was doing while I was hearing it was I was getting results. And I was leaving all those average people behind. So I encourage you today, when you hear that word, brown nosing, sucking up, from now on the rest of your career, I want to plant that seed where you think that's an average person trying to hold somebody back. That's an average person trying to hold somebody back. Somebody who's trying to get ahead, somebody's trying to hold them back. And if you say it to somebody else, I want you to look in the mirror, reflect back on this little podcast episode, and think, why am I trying to hold somebody back? What is it? Why am I feeling threatened by that person's desire to succeed? Brown nosing, that's a term that's in the blue collar world. It just needs to go away. If I was leading an organization, that'd be one of the words or two words that's not going to be a part of our language. But it also wouldn't be happening because I would be growing and developing leaders at every level. Everybody would know everybody's got a chance. Everybody would know I'm not going to make you irrelevant, but you can choose to become irrelevant. Because I'm going to tell you, if I'm leading a team, I want somebody who's going to make it happen. And anybody running around trying to prevent that from happening, they ain't going to be on my team long. So think about this. Try to drop that type language from your vocabulary because it will increase your influence with positive, high-impact leaders. Positive, high-impact leaders don't want to hear that stuff. They don't want to hear it. They ain't going to say it because those are exceptional people. So you can either repel those type people or you can attract those type people. And then again, be conscious of the people you're hanging around with. Be conscious of who you're working with, who you think is your friend, who's trying to hold you back, who's trying to help launch you like a rocket. Think about that. Talk to you next time.
Make it happen or someone else will. It might as well be you. Are you serious about taking your career and your life to the next level and beyond? Check out Mac Story's Blue Collar Leadership series books and others, now available on audio, along with paperback and ebooks at Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. Please visit bluecollarleadership.com to learn about Mac's books, programs, special offers, certifications, and more. Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast.